All right, stair challenge. Thankfully, I put my gloves on it.
All right, so this was the first stair set of the 3 over in this area, over by the business park.
It's pretty low.
And this first one was the easiest, or was the least steep of all the 3. So I started out on this one to figure out how these stair sets were going to go. You got to come in wide right here. And that was so that you can get your bike straightened out, and then you can let off the brakes. This is the second stair set right here. And it was much steeper than the first one and much longer. And if you can see, the rollout goes right into those trees. So you have to get to your brakes at the end of this one. And the first one I'm doing here, I'm trying to come off the brakes entirely.
I came all the way off the brake once I got rolling into it. Brakes on to start, into it, and then once you got your direction, then you let off the brakes. That seems to work on that stair step. That's what it looks like. Stair set number 2.
And this stair set was definitely longer and steeper than that first one. And it also had a little bit of a twist down towards the bottom or something, where the steps were a little bit uneven and leaning, which actually did not have any effect as I thought it might when I first went down it. This one was definitely harder to let off the brakes completely coming down it because of that quick turn and the trees right there. But I got better at it as I did it a few more times. And that was the thing, if you didn't get your wheel straightened out when you let off the brakes, you could potentially have an issue.
That was on the brake the whole way. That is a lot of brake.
You want to make sure that front tire is straight when you first roll in, so you can let off your brakes, or mostly let off your brakes. In this case, I still had the brakes on a little bit. Definitely the next challenge on this stair set would be to come off the brakes all the way and see if you can clear that tree. The thing I started working on here, if you can notice, is basically my arms are more in a line, like stack joints where you line your shoulder, elbow, and wrist, which helps prevent you from going over the bars, especially when braking or going down something rough. And I didn't know I was doing it here, and I learned about that more recently, and then tried to do that on the third stair set coming up. And this is the third stair set. This one is the most steep, or at least it looks the most steep. It may not be quite as long as the second one, but it feels a little bit steeper because you definitely can get more speed on this one if you come all the way off the brakes. The rolling for this one was the trickiest because the path seems to be a little bit more narrow, and the actual staircase seems to be a little bit more narrow. So that's why this one felt a little trickier than the other two. So this was the hardest one, I felt. And the other thing here is I am dropping my heels. I have my left foot forward as my hold foot. That just helps to get your weight back a little bit and be a little more balanced going down these. But the thing here was trying to let off the brakes all the way to get the speed a little bit better, since you had such a good easy rollout on this one. Another camera angle. This one's a little far. I set the GoPro back a ways.